Hey guys, welcome to this new Blender tutorial, and today we're going to model this body wash bottle in Blender. So first, we'll be modeling this bottle, then we'll add material and see how to render it, and then we'll create a small animation. Alright then, without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, first let's add the reference image, then make selection to 3D cursor. Here in the image settings, set the depth to front and turn down the opacity. Now let's add a single vert, and in edit mode, move that vertex to this spot. Then extrude it along the border edge of the bottle. Next, select all the vertices and do Loop Tools Space. This will make everything evenly spaced. Now, from the top view, select all vertices, press Alt-E, and choose Spin, then open its options in the corner and adjust the number of steps. Make it something like this. Here, move this reference image back. Now go to the side view of the bottle, and in wireframe mode, select these faces, then scale on the Y-axis, and make the shape thinner, like this. Now select this top edge and extrude it up till here, then scale it slightly. Next, select this edge, move it a bit, and scale slightly. Now here, add a loop cut and scale it slightly out. Then bevel the edge and adjust the shape, like this. Now select this edge, extrude it in slightly, then extrude it up to here. Scale and adjust this part. Now at the bottom, select this edge, extrude it in, then extrude up. Scale slightly and extrude inwards again. Here, choose grid fill and fill this part, then tweak the parameters and align it straight. Here, add a loop cut, and here also add another loop cut. Now select both these edges and bevel them. Here, make the shape a complete one. Now let's add a subdivision surface modifier. Select and dissolve this edge, and select this one and slide it slightly up. Now this looks nice and smooth over here. Shade, smooth the bottle. Now select these edges over here and bevel them. Activate the subdivision modifier. And now this bottle looks good. Okay, now we'll model the cap of the bottle. So here, let's select these faces, duplicate them, and separate by selection. Press Ctrl P, then select the duplicated part and scale it according to the cap in the image. Select the top edge and move it up. Then select this edge and move it up slightly. Add a loop cut here where the cap opens and closes. Now select this top edge and extrude it inwards slightly. Then press Shift-R. This will extrude equally inwards. Then use grid fill, and here tweak the parameters and align the edges straight. Now over here, turn on proportional editing and set it to sphere. Then move this up and adjust the fall off with the mouse scroll wheel to get a nice round shape. Now add a few loop cuts and select these faces over here to create the cut. Then inset inwards up to where the cut should be. Select these vertices and slide them to get the shape right. Press G 2 times to slide. Here, dissolve this edge and slide this one to the middle. Now select this top part and separate it by selection. Then select these faces here and extrude them inwards slightly. Next, select the inner edges and scale them slightly. Now for the top part, select these faces over here and extrude them out slightly. At the bottom, delete these unnecessary faces. Now select this edge over here and slide it down to get the curved shape. Also slide these vertices to refine the shape. Select the edge and use loop tools, relax. This will smooth it out nicely. Then bevel this edge a little. And now this looks good. For the bottom part, delete these unnecessary faces over here. Select this full edge and extrude scale inwards slightly. Select these faces over here and delete them. Here, select these vertices and merge them this way. Then select this edge and extrude in slightly. Then again, extrude in. Then join these vertices this way. And select this edge and dissolve it. Select this edge and see how many vertices are there. So there are 16. Now add a circle and set its vertices to 16. Scale it, bring it on top and snap it. In snapping, turn on vertex and then snap with the top vertices. Press Ctrl while snapping. Then scale this so that it is inside this part. Then extrude and scale inwards. Then select both these edges and here do bridge edge loops. There are some problems over here, so undo this. Now check face orientation and we can see the normals are not right, so flip them, press Shift N. Now select both these edges and here do bridge edge loops again, and now this is fine. Now select this edge and extrude, scale inwards, then extrude up, then select this edge and bevel, and here make this shape slightly curved. Now select this edge and bevel slightly, and here make the shape a complete one. Uncheck loop slide. Now add a loop cut and activate the subdivision modifier. And now this looks good. Now add a solidify modifier and move it on top. Here, adjust the thickness and apply the modifier. Select the interfaces here and scale slightly. Then select this edge and move it on top. Then bevel the edge and bevel this edge also. Now select these faces and scale slightly. Then select these edges and bevel them. And now this looks okay. Shade smooth the object. Shade smooth this top part also. And now this part is nicely modeled, as you can see. Now add a solidify modifier for the top part as well, and adjust the thickness. Then apply the modifier. Then add a loop cut over here to make this sharp, and add a loop cut inside here also, and add 2 loop cuts here. Okay, now we'll model this flip cap or hinge at the back. So select these faces over here at the back where the hinge will be. Duplicate them and separate by selection. Then select the duplicated parts, join them, and then select and do merge by distance. Now add loop cuts on both sides. Then select these vertices and delete them. Select this edge and move it on top. Then select these middle vertices and scale on the z-axis, like this. Then select these vertices and scale slightly. Then select these vertices again, scale, and try to get this shape. Now select this whole part and extrude it out. Then select these middle vertices and move them in slightly. Select all these border edges and bevel them. Add a loop cut here. And on the other side, also add a loop cut. Now here, select this full middle edge and then move it out slightly. Now select all these inside faces over here and then delete them. Select this edge and extrude it inward slightly. Add loop cuts here to make it sharp. Now set origin to geometry. This will bring the origin to the middle. Scale the whole thing slightly. Now select these faces on the side part on both sides and extrude them out slightly. Scale this hinge slightly, and now this hinge is done. Now apply scale for all the objects. Check face orientation and flip to make it correct. Now this bottle is done modeling and we'll move to the next step. Okay, now we'll add material for this. So first let's split the screen. And here, open the shader editor. For the bottom part, create a new material. Then select the cap. And for that, also create a new material. Set its color using the eyedropper to pick the color from the image. For the top part, also add the same material. Now for the bottom part, let's add the label. I have a label image, so I will drop the label image here. Now connect the label image to the base color and press Ctrl-T for mapping nodes. Now split the screen again, and here open the UV editor. Now we'll unwrap this bottle to add the label. So select these faces over here and press UV unwrap. Now rotate the UV map, move and scale it, and see that the label fits nicely on the bottle. Okay, now this is good. Now invert the selection. Press Ctrl-L to invert selection. Then here select the UV map and move the rest of the part's UVs and place them somewhere here. Now we'll add the back label on the back side of the bottle. So here select the faces at the back. And then UV unwrap the part. Then rotate the UV map and align it correctly. Now create a new material and assign it to the selected part. I have a back label image, so I will add it here. Connect the image to the base color and press Ctrl-T for mapping nodes. Now move the UV map and try to fit and align the label correctly. Okay, now this label is nicely added. Here select the bottle image, and in the bottle cap material, use the eyedropper to select this color for the base color. Okay, now this is good. For the hinge, add the same material. Rename the material names. Now for the cap material, adjust the roughness. And for the body material, also adjust the roughness. Okay, so we are done adding material for this. Now we'll move on to rendering this bottle. So first, let's do the setup for rendering. Bring the cursor to the world origin, then move this bottle on top and place it flat in the middle on the grid. Add an empty object, then select the whole bottle and select the empty object at last. Press Ctrl-P to parent the object. Okay, now add a plane. and scale it big. Then duplicate the plane, rotate it, move it to the back, move it up, and scale. Now we'll add a camera and press Ctrl-Alt-0 to view through the camera. Over here, change the camera resolution and make it square. Set the location to 0. In the camera settings, change the focal length to 115. And now move the camera and try to align it nicely. Okay, now we'll add material for this bottom part. So create a new material, make it completely transmissive, decrease the roughness, make it 0.100, and change the base color completely to black. Okay, now we'll create a water material. So for that, first add a wave texture node, then add a bump node. Connect the wave texture into the height input, and then connect the bump node into the normal input. Okay, this looks something like this. Press Ctrl-T to add the mapping nodes. Here select ring, and then choose spherical. Now this gives a nice round shape. Okay, now tweak the scale value. Here adjust the wave texture location value. Move and see that the center point matches where the bottle is. Okay, now the center point matches the bottle. Now increase the scale a bit more. And here tweak the other parameters like this to make this look like water. Press Ctrl-Shift-Click to preview the node output. Now tweak the parameters like this so that it looks like moving water. Here we can see that if we tweak this value, it creates a cool effect like water flowing. Now you can see this looks like water and the waves are flowing. And if we tweak this value here, we can create a nice and cool water flowing effect. Okay, now we'll add a noise texture. And we need a mix RGB node. Now join this mix RGB over here and connect this texture over here and connect this noise texture over here. Now view the noise texture node and here adjust the scale and see that it looks like water waves. Now view the Mix RGB node and tweak the blend to merge both textures nicely. View the water and now tweak it nicely. Okay, this looks good. We can fine-tune it later. Now for the back plane, let's add a new material. Change the color. So I have a color hex code, so I'll paste it here. Make the material completely rough. And now this is good. Okay, now for this bottle, let's add small bump details. So in its material here, add a noise texture and add a bump node. Add mapping nodes. And here connect object. View the noise texture. And here, increase the scale quite high so it looks fine. Then reduce the detail value. And over here, also increase the scale high and make it look very fine. Now connect this into bump and then this into normals. Decrease the bump height very low. Here, change the roughness, make it 300. For this top cap, let's change the color. So I have a hex color, so I'll paste that. Here, change the roughness, make it 0.390. Okay, over here, we'll decrease the bump height to a low value so there are no big waves. And here, we'll change the IOR value to 0.01. We'll not use the actual water IOR, which is 1.333. Okay, now we'll animate the scene. So we'll tweak this phase offset value to create a water flowing effect. First, keep the value at 0 and add a keyframe on frame 1. So here, press I and add a keyframe. Then move the playhead forward to around frame 120. And here, set a negative value so the water flows out. Make the value around -9 and press I. Then move the playhead to frame 150, and here change the value to -20 and add a keyframe. Over here, change the end frame to 150. Box, select all the keyframes in the timeline, and press T and choose linear. Now when we play this, you can see the water flowing animation. Okay, now we'll animate this camera. So we'll do something like this. First, we'll zoom in the camera and then zoom out. So here, change the focal length to 110 and press I to add a keyframe on frame 1. Then move the playhead to frame 120 and now change the focal length to 125 and add a keyframe. Next, move the playhead to frame 150 and change the focal length back to 110 and add a keyframe. Now, when we play the animation, we can see the camera zooms in and then out. Here, select these keyframes and press T and choose linear. And now this is okay. Okay, now we'll add lighting to the scene. Switch to render view. Over here in the world properties, set the light strength to 0. Now let's add an area light. Rotate the light. Then from the top view, move the light to the side a little in front of the bottle. Rotate the light and adjust it nicely. Then move the light up here. Now go to the light properties and change the shape to rectangle. Increase the height of the light, make it about the same height as the bottle. Horizontally, also increase the size of the light, adjust and play around to make sure the light fades nicely from left to right on the bottle. Here, increase the power of the light, and now try to add the light nicely. Okay, now the light fades nicely. Now add another area light. Rotate the light and move it to the right side. Then move the light up. Now in the light properties, set the shape to rectangle. Increase the light size, make it around 6. Now adjust the light position so there's a soft light on this side to fill the shadows. Here, slightly increase the power. Now activate the other light and check the overall lighting. Turn off all the lights. Now we'll add a spotlight. Rotate the light and move it behind the bottle. Adjust the light so there's a nice soft light hitting the side edge of the bottle. Here, increase the blend and adjust the spot size. Increase the power and increase the radius to make the light softer. Move and adjust the light properly. Now change the light color, make it slightly blue. Okay, now we'll add a spotlight on the other side as well. To do that, keep the cursor in the middle, set the pivot to the 3D cursor, then duplicate the light, go to Object, Mirror, X, Global, and now the light is nicely mirrored on the other side. Okay, now we'll add another spotlight. Rotate the light to light up the background wall behind the bottle. Move and adjust it so the light falls nicely on the back wall. Here, increase the power, then increase the blend, and adjust the spot size. Here, increase the radius to soften the light. Now adjust the light and fine-tune the settings to get a nice soft glow that fades out smoothly. Here, change the light color, make it slightly blue. Okay, so now this looks good. Okay, so here we'll do one thing. First, move the plane back. So I want the spotlight to be thinner and finer on the edge. So turn off all the other lights. Now move this spotlight farther back and slightly inward, so the edge of the bottle catches more thin and fine light on the edge. Once it looks right, do the same mirror setup as before to duplicate the light on the other side. Okay, now go over here to the color management properties and here select AGX. Then here select high contrast. Okay, now we'll remove unwanted light reflections. So for that, we'll use light linking. Hide all the other lights except this area light. Select the light, go to its properties panel, then under shading, open light linking, and click new. Add all the bottle mesh parts in the light linking section, so the light only affects the bottle. Now the light will affect only the bottle. Select the back spotlight, and in its light linking section, add all the bottle mesh parts. You can also select the previously linked meshes list directly here, so you don't need to add everything manually each time for other lights. Just reuse the previously linked mesh group. So reuse for the other lights that should affect only the bottle. Now you can see these lights affect only the bottle, not the background. Activate the background light. As we can see, the background corner areas are quite dark, so we'll add a soft light to slightly brighten those areas. So add an area light, rotate it, and move it back. Here, increase the power. Also increase the light size to make it softer. This light also affects the bottle mesh, so we'll fix that using light linking. Add all the bottle mesh parts here. Then uncheck the tick marks. Now this light will affect everything except the bottle mesh. The floor water light reflections are hitting the bottle, so add the floor mesh in the list section and uncheck the tick. Now, the floor water reflections won't affect the bottle. In the top corner of the bottle, we can see a dark area. So we'll add an area light, rotate it, and move it to that spot to slightly brighten the area. Move and adjust the light nicely to fill that corner. Decrease the power. Add a light on the opposite side as well. So duplicate the light and mirror it on the other side, just like we did before. Now this looks good. You can tweak the settings to make the render look better. Here you can increase the exposure slightly. For the lights, try adjusting the power and size a bit, and try fine-tuning this until the overall lighting looks nice and balanced. Here, the bottle's shadow is falling on the background. So to remove that, we'll use shadow linking. Select the light, go to the shadow linking section, and click New. Then add all the bottle mesh parts here and uncheck the tick marks. Now the bottle's shadow won't fall in the background. Here for the lights, I just tweaked the parameters slightly. Here I adjusted the size and power a bit and made the light color slightly yellow. For this light, I made the color a little blue. For the back spotlight, I also tweaked the settings slightly. And for this light too, I made a few small adjustments. So after these slight tweaks, we have this result. Okay, so one final thing we can do here, select this light and duplicate it. Then go into its light settings and make the light size smaller horizontally. Now move the light slightly backward and you can see it gently lighting up the side of the bottle, giving a nice soft edge highlight. After activating all the lights, you can see this light softly hits the bottle's side, adding a nice highlight. Alright, we are done with this tutorial where we created this small animation. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also comment below and give your feedback. So thanks for watching, and I will meet you in the next one.